Yo, we back. We is back, yo. Welcome back to the Classics presents Cinema Rehab. You already know it's D Brown, and I'm with Saucy.
Selina.
That is right. We're covering WandaVision episodes 3 and 4, and I 3 or 4 are good episodes. They're solid episodes, and we've been kind of waiting to see where all of this sitcom, psychological Twilight Zone sitcom drama was going to lead us, and it definitely left us, and it left us in a good place, man. We're asking questions, we're inquiring, we are definitely thirsty. We're kind of wishing this wasn't a weekly series anymore. We kind of wish like we could binge this thing and get it out the way. But other than that, though, I'm enjoying my WandaVision journey, and we're about to talk about this thing. We got to unpack all of this thing. We need to. We got some things to talk about. First and foremost, Selina, as we delve into episode 3, is there anything stand out to you that you want to talk about first? Because I'm going to talk about one thing that I got to get off my chest, but you go ahead and you talk about it.
How quickly everything progresses in episode 3.
Yeah.
You in the end of episode 2, you're like, okay, she's pregnant, she's like barely showing, and then episode 3, it's like, bam.
Yeah, it's like, boom, this is what we doing now type shit. Like everything's in color.
Overnight. Yeah.
I'm pregnant. I think even the episode was called Now in
2
Color.
minutes later, like she's ready to up.
Yeah, definitely. Like I think the word progression is an understatement at this point. She was like in her final trimester or whatever you want to call that. The baby's about to pop out like in the next 5 to 10 minutes because Vision was doing
the doctor left because he's going to go take a vacation with his wife, and then boom, she's at 9 months.
Exactly. First and foremost, Elizabeth Olsen is beautiful in almost every episode. The sitcom life compliments her.
Look at this perfection.
Like she's a vibe. She's a snack. I don't know if she's ever gonna see this, but I'm calling her a snack. But she manages to, like, every sitcom decade, she manages to blend with it so nicely. Like,
that's exactly what I said in our last episode, was that I thought she was gorgeous when like she made her like official debut in Age of Ultron, and like then I said, oh my god, like I think I'm kind of more in love with her than I am with Chris Evans, like the retro looks and everything. Like,
exactly,
she's a knockout.
Yeah, she's a knockout. She's doing her thing, and I'm noticing every sitcom that they are obviously trying to emulate or trying to copy, she does change her style. She changes her acting style. Like, she changes the way she delivers her comedy, the way she delivers her jokes. So this one was real Partridge Family, Brady Bunchy kind of vibe, even with the theme song. 70s. Yeah, she killed it. I think she killed it perfectly. A standout for me on this one was Herb, the neighbor. So obviously Vision is talking to Herb, nothing too crazy. He goes out there to go talk to him, and then Herb is literally cutting into the wall, like he's glitching, like he's in the Matrix and his program ain't right. So that was the first thing I said, okay, well, this episode is already weird now, like, because that's happening, but he's still going, like he's still cutting, saying, and even Vision was like, hey, Herb, I think you're cutting into the wall there, buddy. And he was like, okay. So this lets you know that, okay, weird things are going to be taking place throughout the whole episode. And like watching that obviously lets you know that this episode is going to take you into a different direction. And it did. It went in so many different directions. Another standout, obviously, Geraldine. Oh, bless her heart. She's so beautiful. Oh, my God, Geraldine. Yeah, let's go. She's killing the Afro game on point, everything. Geraldine comes over, and I think that's when things kind of just like start getting kind of wild a little bit. because Agnes and Herb is outside, and you already know I don't trust Agnes. I don't trust Agnes not even a little bit. Agnes is up in there talking about is Geraldine in the crib. Like, yo, is Geraldine up in there? And she's like, yo, you know Geraldine don't.
Is she alone with Wanda?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why?
Yeah. I love that. Like, there's so much tension, even though there's so much comedy and there's little things happening to distract you. When it gets tense, it gets tense. Like, he's like, why are you asking me that? And when they were like not trying to reveal the answer, even Herb was not trying to even give the answer. He's like, because we're all, he could have said anything. We're all under your spell. We're all under mind control. We're all robots. Yeah, it could have been anything, but I thought that was so good. Like, they're just keeping it going, keeping you. And then right before Herb was low key about to say it, even Agnes was like, no, you're not doing that right now. I gotta go. We're good. We're just letting you know that Geraldine, this is in her home. She don't belong,
She has no home.
Exactly. So just those little nuances. Did you notice that thing that the doctor said as well?
What thing?
So the doctor was going on vacation, and then he told Vision, like, hey, it's kind of hard to leave here. He says, yeah, type shit. So he was alluding again, like, yo, we stuck here. We're stuck here. Another thing I noticed was Vision was very casual about showing his powers in this episode, because he ran to the doctor and literally grabbed the doctor and dipped with the doctor super speed. Also, when Geraldine was in the house, things was happening. Like, literally things was happening. Like, her powers, all of that. Literally while she's doing her breathing exercises and all that. Not to mention a whole stork is walking around the house while Geraldine was telling her story about what happened to her at work.
It's like,
yeah, and she was trying to hit it with the red magic, and it was not disappearing. It was like, yo, why isn't this shit going away?
The time has come. It's coming now.
Definitely. Then we get the big moment, the moment that we've all been waiting for. We was waiting for somebody to notice something. We was waiting for something to not feel right. And Geraldine was like, yeah, I'm gonna hit you over the head with something heavy. They delivered the twins, which obviously that's a nice little payoff for the young Avengers in the future, because obviously those are fixated characters inside the comic book. So everything is going good. And then she brings up Pietro, she brings up the bro, and she even starts singing a Sokovian song. Like, she was comfortable.
Like a lullaby.
Exactly. But when Geraldine asked that question, like, yo, wasn't your brother killed by Ultron? That's when it went 0 to 100. I said, oh, okay, we're going there in this episode. Okay, we're there now. And she said,
even when they were at like the little PTA meeting or HOA meeting or whatever it was, and she goes, they're introducing themselves. She didn't know what to call herself. She's like, I'm
right.
Geraldine. Like, when I saw that, I was like, who is she really?
Exactly.
And then she brings up, oh, your twin brother was killed by Ultron. I was like, I knew it. I knew it.
You also notice another thing, a nice little touch. Geraldine had on a sword necklace. That's another thing. So we got a chance to see them sword symbols, just like we talked about in our last two reviews. Them sword symbols have been everywhere. It's been on the drone. It's been on the plane. They've been alluding to this. The man comes out the man cover. Sword. So now we know what's happening. We know that it's there. We know that it's going to get to that point where we get to find out what it is. But before we get to that point, though, after Geraldine says what she says, which already stuns you because you're watching it and you go, oh, okay, that threw Wanda off. She said, whoa, what did you say? Like, really? No. How did you know that? She's like, no, what girl? Wanda, you're my girl. Like, what's up? She's like, nah, we're not homies. In fact, you don't even belong here, type shit. Vision was in the crib. She already gone. And
she had to run home.
That part. Also, every time something ain't right, you notice that it always does a reset. Every time. Every time something ain't right in WandaVision or the WandaVision world, you get a reset. You get a no.
And the first time that happened, I thought it was a glitch on my TV.
Right.
I thought it was my internet or something. So I was rewinding a little.
You're like, yo, my shit tripping.
Like, hold on, what did I miss? So like I'm rewinding a little bit and it happens again and I'm like, oh, it's the show.
It's what we watching.
Yeah.
So they left some nice little breadcrumbs. And then we get to see Geraldine legitimately, like, for real, like, land.
Like, into another dimension.
Yeah. We don't know what it is. We don't know what's happening. All we know is that baby girl went through that damn force field or whatever she went through, and she was just out of it.
With all the SUVs that pulled up suddenly and the helicopter shining its light on her, like, just that scene, like that background, I was like, kind of reminds me of Thor.
Yeah, it had a Thor feel to it. It felt like S.H.I.E.L.D. was like already there. There was, like, their presence was there and they were already camping out already, kind of deal. But it felt like Thor. I'm so glad you said that. It felt like when Mjolnir had dropped and they created like a whole base around Mjolnir.
Exactly. I really thought that like it tied into the first Thor somehow, and I was like, well, no, because she landed in grass.
Yeah.
And the first, it was like out in the desert in New Mexico. Right. So it can't be that, but
I look at it like this. We've been going into these things so blind. We've been trying to like assume what timeline this thing is in and when is it happening and all of that. And we never really got a concrete answer. You had an assumption that we're in a blip. I said, okay, maybe we are in a blip, you know, let's entertain that. I had an assumption that maybe this is after Endgame, you know, she is in a vulnerable state and maybe somebody is taking advantage of her and they put her in this vulnerable situation. But we just never knew the timeline and how long or after the fact, you know, and we still had mad questions. Like we had numerous questions even after episode 3, but we were intrigued. Like the way that ended with her getting bounced out of pretend force field and into that grass and into the field. We were like, I need to know now. I need to know everything. Please tell me something. Don't leave me hanging like this. And we made the assumption again by episode 3 or episode 4, I think we're going to get the payoff that we need. And honestly, episode 4 delivered in spades. Like every question that I had got answered. It did.
It was everything. Oh, it did that. My God.
Like it did it so good to the point where not only did I get all my questions answered, but I got new questions now. And I want them answered, but I'm not even tripping that they're not answerable. Like, I'm fine because you finally put me at ease with everything that I needed to know so I can continue on this weird-ass journey that you got me on, because it's definitely the weirdest Marvel journey thus far. Like, this is Tales of Suspense, sci-fi, mystery, drama. Barely ain't got no superheroing going on up in here. This is just straight like sci-fi-ness. Like this is the Marvel Twilight Zone. I wait for Rod Serling to come out and start going, well, imagine if you will. Wanda and Vision. You know, like I'm really waiting for that. But man, episode 4, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, 4 has to be, as of right now, the best episode of the season.
Yes, I definitely agree with you on that. And I think it's not only because it answered a lot of questions that we had, but it's plugging in all the holes. It's tying together all the loose ends that we had. Like it's the answers to everything, all the questions that we had.
Right.
But it's also like, wait, like it can't just end here.
Yeah, it did.
We didn't
It's
even have to wait a
effective.
whole nother week, you
It's
know, like the very
effective.
beginning.
It's effective.
And
It did that.
exactly, like the beginning, like you're in the hospital or they're in the hospital, and like the way that she's coming back, you're kind of thinking like, okay, was this the first snap
Mm-hmm.
or the second snap? But then the way you see her come together, and then I hear Lieutenant Trouble, I was like, oh my god, oh my goodness. When I heard Lieutenant Trouble, I think I paused and was like, ah!
Yeah, it's real.
Oh,
It's real. It's real. Honestly, we've seen the snap happen and we've seen people snap. I think Spider-Man Far From Home, they showed
mhm.
people come back. But this was the first time we got to see like the actual
What
comeback.
happened?
Yeah, like imagine you just
Yes,
come
exactly.
back and you just wake up in the spot that you were in and there's so much confusion and craziness happening. So
Yes.
that's
And
wild.
then I remember you and I saw Far From Home.
Mm-hmm.
When you and I went and saw Far From Home together, I remember even looking at you like, wait, like confused. But actually seeing what, like everybody's coming back together and there's this total chaos in the hospital. Like, do you have a phone? Do you have a phone? The doctor asking her, she's like, no. And he's like, I'm sorry, I need to go call my wife. Like, I'm like, call your wife for what? Like, what's about to happen? And then when you see everybody's like coming back, you're like, he needs to call his wife to tell her or to see if she came back or to tell her, hey, I'm back or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then seeing the doctor, she's looking for her mom. And she says, I think the doctor even says like, oh my God, Monica, like it's a miracle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's when I knew. I was like, oh.
I thought it was a very subtle touch to have like, yeah, I think it was subtle to have the Captain Marvel voiceovers in the beginning. So you got you got those tie-ins. Obviously, we went immediately into this is obviously Monica Rambeau, all grown up. She's not a little girl anymore. You know, last time you saw her, she was a little girl, and Captain Marvel was about to fly away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and now
it was like pick out the colors for her uniform.
Exactly, which was a cool scene. I love that scene. You know what I'm saying?
I liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, like that scene. It felt so tense and so scary and so like Marvel has a way of doing things where they stick to their formula. They always it's gonna be kiddie, it's gonna be family friendly. We're gonna try to PG-13 this thing, but then ever so often they just veer into a situation where it's real. Like it's some real shit happening and you got to deal with it. Like when Hawkeye's family disappeared, like that shit is sad. Like, cause he's like kicking it with his family and they literally disappear in front of him.
And they're gone.
Yeah.
Like I remember seeing Endgame like before even like premiere night or whatever. I'm sitting there, I'm like eating my hot dog and I'm all happy. And then I see that and I was like, I think I opened my mouth so wide that the bite I took out of my hot dog like fell out. I was like, oh, that's how they're starting this.
Yeah,
oh my God.
They started that thing off wild, and that led him into a path of, you know, obviously he turned into a Ronin, like he turned into he ain't want to be contacted. He just wanted to murder people. So I feel it, you know, I feel it. Like, don't give me hope. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I understand like where Monica was coming from. Like I was just kicking it with my mom. She just had surgery and she didn't make it.
Maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah, like that was tough. Like that was tough. That was a tough spot to be in. So we get all the answers that we need. We find out what Sword is finally. Sword is Shield. Sword is basically the Shield of space, but now there ain't no Shield, because honestly, Shield to me, in my opinion, would have been the first responders for something this crazy. Would have been there. So obviously Sword right now is our Marvel police at the moment. Mm-hmm. You know, obviously if they're not policing extraterrestrial shit, they're policing phenomenons like this, you know, terrestrial phenomenons like this. Subtle things. Did you notice that she didn't have access to no doors when she went to work?
Yeah, because she was gone for like what was it, 3 years, 5 years?
So there's no trust. There ain't no trust whatsoever. In fact, he opened up every door for her, even up to her office, and then kind of just laid it down to her like, look, you know, you done, you grounded. By who?
Even the guy at the reception desk was like, she goes, I work here. And he goes, well, if you worked here, your badge would have worked, huh?
Oh, he was rude as hell. He was rude as fuck. I was like, damn, why you so rude, dog? But you know what? If the security guard ain't got that type of energy, you got weak security. He clapped at her correctly. Like, he's like, nah, if your shit worked, you'll be up in here right now. What up?
And especially just being like in reception in general, like if you've heard one thing, you've heard it all.
Yeah.
You've heard it all. There's no like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll give you access just this one time. Like, oh, maybe it's just like, maybe you put your badge next to your credit card and it got demagnetized. No.
Right. Yeah, ain't none of that going on today. This is Sword. You ain't just walking up in Sword all willy-nilly type stuff. We get to see the Maria Rambo picture on the wall. So now you know that she started Sword as well, founding member. So that was dope. You get a lot of Easter eggs in here for Sword. He basically breaks down Sword's function. He tells you what Sword is doing. You get the name, you get everything. You get everything by Haywood. Haywood hooks it up. So now you're all caught up to speed. You know that she's grounded. She can't really do anything. But he said, I need you to go check this thing out. You know, I want you to go work with the FBI, go out there, do that for me. And she said, cool. I'm a yes, man. I'll go handle that. Plus, my mom wanted this for me. I'll go ahead and go do it like that. We follow Monica Rambeau. She heads out to Westview, and we link up with Jimmy.
There is no Westview.
Yo, Jimmy Woo was like, yo, hey, to the local police, tell her what you told me. First off, Jimmy Woo, shout out to Jimmy Woo, though, because Jimmy Woo, my man learned the magic from Ant-Man. He had the card ready to go. Like, Jimmy Woo, what's good? Remember, he kept asking Scott, how did you do that? Like, really, how do you do that? So it looked like he'd been working on his magic. Subtle, real subtle. Marvel is just real subtle. She links up with Jimmy Woo, whatever, and you get to find out that Westview isn't even a thing. Or if it was a thing, people are oblivious to it now. Like, there's something going on. You know what I'm saying? There is a force that they cannot describe. The cops are like, she's like, so where are you from? They're like, Eastview. Yeah. Like, yeah, I thought that was wild. She's like, so why haven't you gone in there to go study it? He's like, it doesn't want me to. Like, yeah, I thought that was crazy. It felt like you was watching like CBS The Dome. Like you was watching like one of those crazy ass sci-fi movies. Like they like something that just don't happen. Like this is a phenomenon that is so weird that's what you're walking into now. You're walking into a phenomenon now. So she sends in the drone, boom, gone. You know, and you get your payoff, you know, at the end with that one as well. She was a little too cavalier to go touch it, though. She touched that shit like.
Are you surprised, though?
Nah, not at all. Not at all. For everything that she's seen already and everything that she knows, I know that there are other beings, aliens. There are other things in this world that can't be explained. She seems to be like a curious person. That seems to be the type of job that she would have if you're an adult and you've seen a whole Captain Marvel fly away, you know? So, yeah. I don't blame her for touching it.
But let me go touch it real quick.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, she touched it. She touched all of that shit.
Got sucked into it.
Yeah, he was like, careful, Rambo. She was like, nah, I'm not going to be careful. I'm in this shit. I'm gonna stick my whole.
She goes from this.
Yeah. Definitely. All right. So you got to tell me the truth. How you feel about Darcy coming back?
Oh my God, I loved it. I lived for it. I saw her. I was like, yes.
I love me some Darcy. I think Darcy is the comedy relief that you need. You need that.
Absolutely. Like her and and Jimmy Woo, like especially like when they're sitting there together watching the sitcoms and everything. I was like, I mean, I love Randall Park, I love Kat Dennings, and like seeing them together, they were both definitely like the comedic relief.
Yeah.
But when I saw her in the back of that van, truck, whatever it was, I was like, I knew it. I knew this had to do something with Thor. I knew it.
It was cool. It was refreshing to see her. She's not like everybody's favorite character, but she's mad funny to me. She always been funny in those Thor movies. Like she was like that one character that was just the consistent, funny ass character. Like I'm only here to be this one dimensional thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it was cool for her to say, I'm a doctor now, like respect the title, definitely. Even in the truck, hey, what are you? Like, well, what's your field? We're not allowed to talk to each other. Okay. What is your field? Like that way he finally like said, like when he just said nobody cares. Yeah, I love that. Like I love that. The minute she walks into the room, she changed the whole energy in that whole room. You know what I'm saying? So it was cool seeing Darcy pop up on the scene.
It was nice to see. It was kind of relieving also, like that I was wrong, like the voice on the radio, like who could it be?
Right.
And it turned out to be Jimmy Woo. Like
turned out to be Jimmy.
As soon as I saw like her setup and everything and like the microphone and stuff, and she's telling him like, okay, like I'll let you know when I see a radio or something in the show. Yeah. Like I was like, I feel like an idiot for even saying like who I thought it was.
You're making assumptions. We're making calculated assumptions based off something that we've never seen before. Like we don't know.
And that's where you see it too. Like, watching episodes 1 and 2, like you see it, and then it just kind of like glitches a little bit and goes back to where it was. Right. But then once she hooks up like the old school TVs to that wavelength or whatever the hell it was, that was pretty much like a big bang. Mm-hmm. And you're watching these shows like how we saw it.
Right.
And she's like, you can tell she knows that Wanda hears it, but she doesn't see it. She's like, oh, never mind, we failed.
Yeah, she put 2 and 2 together pretty quickly, but I'm glad that she was the one to discover it. There was like at least 1,000 scientists in there doing scientist shit, and it was her, the astrophysicist, that came up in there and cracked it. Like, all right, this thing is pumping out a wave. Let's pick up on that wave that we're getting, and I'm gonna need an old TV, by the way.
I need a TV, one that's not flat.
Definitely. Hayward's like attitude shifted. Once Monica disappeared, he was kind of mean, like not mean, but he just wanted like answers. I need results. Like, so basically none of y'all smart motherfuckers in the room know anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then he's like, yo, what's that? What's going on over there? Type shit. She's like, what is this? She's like, that's out there. That's what's going on inside the force field. And Jimmy Woo once again comes in with the questions that we all have. So we're sitting here watching a sitcom with 2 Avengers. Why? She's like, I don't know. None of us know. Like, we're figuring this out as we go along.
I don't know. And I don't know.
But Jimmy Woo was basically America. Everybody is still asking, why are we in the 50s? Why are we in the 60s? Why are we in the 70s? We don't know, y'all. Like, y'all have to find this out.
And that makes sense. Why each episode is in a different decade, because something happens and she's just like, nope, I'm starting over.
Yeah, let's rebuild. Let's restructure. I feel bad for people that are not watching this, not because you're missing out on a good show. That's on you if you want to watch it or not. It's that you expect everything to happen like in this one, like episode 1. You expected this thing to. It's like you're not even deserving this payoff. So there's people saying, oh, episode 4 was decent. I didn't get a chance to tap into the other episodes. I'm like, why would you watch episode 4 without watching episode 1, 2, and 3? Like, why would you do that to yourself? Like,
exactly. That's like, so Grey's Anatomy is one of my favorite shows. That's like watching the season finale of 16 and being like, oh, well, like I'm only on season 3 right now.
Yes. Like, there's people that are not built like that. And what's crazy is the next criticism that I heard was, well, I'm not used to like not being able to binge something. I said, yeah, you are. Like you do it all the time. If you watch Shameless, if you watch any show on HBO like Game of Thrones, you can't binge those shows. Those shows come on
Well,
on a
and then
weekly basis.
another perfect example, Grays. Like, I'm not able to not binge Grays. Like, I need to know what's going to happen.
Right.
But I wait impatiently week to week.
Yeah. You that's worth the wait. Like some of them some series are meant for Netflix. Like that's meant for that. The way that they're telling this story is they want you to come back. Like you have to come back to get the answer. If they gave you all of these answers too quickly, you won't want to come back. And it's working.
Exactly. And then you're gonna end up talking crap about the show, like, oh well, it was just like
it was trash. Yeah,
it was,
nah.
Like,
I love it. I love it. You made a really good point with like it's testing you on you coming back. It's testing you in a way. Like it's like, okay, we'll give you this, we'll give you that. We're not giving you everything, we're just giving you this, we're just giving you that. Here's a breadcrumb, here's a breadcrumb, here's a breadcrumb. When you finally make it to episode 4, it's like, here's a full buffet. Enjoy. You're like, what? I can eat all of this? Like, for real? Like, all right, cool. You was only giving me fucking crumbs, like, in the first 3 episodes. Like, I can eat this whole thing now? Like, and it's like this, yeah, eat that, because we got another buffet. You ain't ready for that, though. But go ahead and finish this buffet, though. We got more. We got another dinner in the back. Like, yeah.
Talking about how like they didn't like how episode 4 was technically during episode 3, and I'm like, what more do you want? Like, you were mad that episodes 1, 2, and 3 were moving too slow, right? And now that all your answers or all your questions are being answered, you don't like that? Like
who doesn't like that? Who doesn't like that? Like, it's the nitpicks that I've heard with this one is just, I feel like when you look at a superhero show now, you're expecting superhero shit to be happening. Like, you want Wanda in the air, you want Wanda flying, you want Wanda fighting, punching, doing Wanda shit, you know, and I get that. But that's not the story that they're telling here. And I feel like you're doing yourself a disservice when you don't give it a chance. Like, you have to go, you got to see where this thing is going. Like, you know, and I feel like we were rewarded, but there's a lot of people that weren't rewarded the same way. Like when I left episode 4, I watched it instantly, like after it was done. I said, nope, watching that shit again. That shit was that good to the point where I want to watch it one more time just to process everything that was given to me just now. Like that was a present. Like, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. It was that good that I was like, okay, yeah, all my questions were answered, and now I have more questions, and I know I have to wait till episode 5.
But definitely. Like, I'm thirsty. Like, Thursday at midnight, I'm tuning in. Like, it's like, all right, hurry up. Technically, in theory, you should be on at 9 o'clock because on the East Coast, there's a 3-hour difference. But I'm not going to be sitting there nitpicking with you, Disney Plus. This should be a central time zone difference. I should get this at 9. We're all of the homies on the East Coast, but we'll be all right, though. We're going to be all right. After, obviously, we link up with Darcy. Jimmy and Darcy, they have their little co-worker, we're smart fucking situation. They're busting it down. They're asking all the right questions, and they even created the infamous investigation board that every detective does.
Exactly. They're figuring out which character is played by who, and really it's an actual resident and like that. Like, they have their entire board. They're filling it all up. And then suddenly something happens, and they're like, you know, basically like not being called outside, but like all the attention is drawn to outside. And it's Geraldine, Monica, being thrown back and like out of that oh my god, what's the word? The force shield thing.
Yeah, force field. Basically, the force shield. I like that force shield.
It back out of the force field, and then she's like, "It's Wanda. It's all Wanda." and that's it.
That was such a good reveal because
that,
up until this point, we really honestly didn't know what to think. We didn't know what was going on. But her saying it just like that, it made Wanda look like a villain. It made Wanda look like a villain.
Exactly. And then you get back to like this Wanda over here where like you see her like starting to like move her fingers and everything the way she used to with Avengers, as opposed to just like pointing her finger like Bewitched, you know. And so you start to really understand how powerful Wanda truly is. And when she gets back to like her old self, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
and, like,
but it's like almost like you're seeing a character break character to be like, nah, that's not part of the script. Nah.
Exactly. And then it kind of like pans in a little bit back to the
sitcom. Panning though, yo, it did that every episode. The panning means some shit's about to go down every time.
And then it pans back out.
Yeah.
And they're each holding a twin. What should we watch tonight? And that's when it made sense to me. I was like, she created this pocket universe from all the sitcoms or all the TV shows her and Vision used to actually watch. And that's when it clicked for me why it started in the 50s and then the 60s and all the 70s. Like, and they're just sitting there, and even Vision's like,
we don't even gotta stay here. Like, she's like, no, we're home. We're good.
We have to stay here. This is home. But like, but even Vision like knows something is up.
Yeah.
And like rewinding a little bit when he comes back inside and she's like, oh, she had to run home.
Yep.
And she turns around and she sees him all gray and like dead. I was like,
oh man, that is the coldest visual. Because even so crazy that she even looks down, like that's the coldest visual. That was a wild visual.
I kind of teared up for a second because it takes you back to Infinity War and how he basically like sacrifices himself for the greater good.
He died twice. Like that was fucked up. She literally had to kill him. Thanos rewinded it, brought him back just to kill him again. I said, damn, Vision, you died twice, buddy. Damn. Yeah. It was, and then you see that hole, and then you see how pale, because remember, he instantly lost color. Like the minute it brings you right back to that. It brings you straight back to his death, like immediately. So it was smart for them to do that, because every time you get reminded of that death, you know Wanda is reminded of that same exact moment.
And her PTSD comes right back.
Right.
Because even like when they first realize it's a sitcom and she's like, hold on, he like Vision's like dead, right? Like not in the blip. Like he's like dead, right?
Yeah.
That's another question of mine that was answered, was like, okay, this is definitely post blip.
Right.
I thought it had happened originally during.
Now, for a character to look worried, that's not a real character. Obviously, he's dead. They've established that. They said he's dead. But for a character to even still be worried inside of a pocket reality that's not real, I still feel like the Vision that we're seeing is a thing. It is an entity of some sort. Like, so I'm a little confused, and this is where I know episode 5 is probably going to save it for me. You know what I'm saying? It's going to answer my question, hopefully. What are we looking at? Is that a vision? Is that not vision? Like, what is happening there? What is this thing pretending to be Vision? Is it a fragment? Did you somehow even manage to merge with the Infinity Stone, or did you manage to do certain type of situation where you were able to create Vision? Because remember, Vision technically, in theory, can operate without the Infinity Stone. They did say that. They went on record and said that. Shuri was already in the process of making that happen before she got stopped.
I think she is powerful enough to create her own universe. She's powerful enough to create her own vision.
There you go. I'm gonna go with that. Because he looked too worried. I was like, why are you worried? Like, you're not even real. Like
something's up. Like something isn't right. But all right, I'm gonna trust her. You know what she says, I'm gonna believe it. But I called it from Age of Ultron. Even like the post credit or whatever when
Mm-hmm.
they first introduced the twins, I
Oh
was like,
man, they look
she looks
deranged in that
powerful as
cell.
hell.
And he's like, and
They
she's like,
definitely look arranged. But I thought, okay, she looks extremely powerful, like almost X-Men like. And then Age of Ultron, I was like, she's gonna end up being the very most powerful Avenger out of all of them.
and
And
she
here
she
we are.
proved it. She proved it. She proved it. I'll scale it back a little bit before we wrap it up. When Geraldine finally like comes on the sitcom for them, like they notice Geraldine and everything, she drops her maruchan noodles and she's like, "Yo, it's Geraldine, yo!" But what's crazy
She's
is
here.
they got so invested into watching WandaVision because that's all they were watching, so they can get like all the clues.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Everybody makes it to this investigation board that we know, Herb and the boss's wife. I noticed the boss didn't get hung up, but maybe that's just a coincidence.
Oh yeah, he did. Kitty too.
Oh,
I
cool,
mean,
got you. Okay, cool. I noticed Agnes and Dottie did not get identified yet.
not yet.
Mm-hmm. I peeped that. So they looking real suspect right now. And I remember I always go back to episode 2 where Agnes told Wanda like, "Yo, if you want anything, go. You
You got
always be
one.
cool with Dottie. You got to be cool with Dottie if you want anything to be smooth." So I remember that, and that's a good callback because Agnes to me just seems to be skating around, and she's in the know, and she's just too mischievous to me, like, and obviously a lot of people online have already theorized of who it can be, and based off of their readings of House of M and things like that. But I'm ready now to know who she is because I'm anxious to know now. Like, and I hope that at least the next episode starts alluding to her character and what's her purpose there because she's just doing too much for me. She's too
Yeah,
too
I really hope the
mischievous.
next episode is the Halloween one. I really
Oof,
do.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I heard some crazy shit about this episode, so I'm really excited. I'm not even gonna tell you because it's already like low key a spoiler, and I'm mad that I know about it.
Exactly. You better not tell me, because if you
No,
tell me,
I'm
I'm gonna
good.
come
I'm
back
not gonna say
back
shit. All I'm gonna tell you
and
is I heard this episode is supposed to be wild as fuck. So I'm actually excited to see like where they're about to take this next episode. So I'm curious. Um, I'm gonna take 2 steps back. When Geraldine got her talking parts, they were like mad excited, like, "Yo, Geraldine got a talking part!" But when she finally started talking a little too much, they said, "Oh, this don't feel right." You remember Wanda was like this. What did you say? Say that again. So to them, they were
like,
watching the show go off the rails, and then
mm-hmm. Then there was nothing. Yeah,
yeah, they said,
she's
no, 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 rewind that back, rewind that back. They said, no, 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 no. The show just went straight to the credits. That's what Wanda did. Yeet, you're gone. Mm-mm. I'm not feeling that. Whenever you're not part of this reality, you trespassing. You get kicked out of the Truman Show immediately.
you
Like,
are 86th from
you
this
are
property.
86, sir. You 86 for property. You cannot gamble here. You can't eat here. 86 of them like a prostitute that got caught talking to like an undercover cop at the casino bars.
Let me call
uh,
Metro real quick. Hold on.
Let me call. We finally get to see Geraldine, like honestly, like land out of the force field once again. It's Wanda. It's all Wanda. What a way to end that show, like on that note. Like, what a way to end that episode. We got so many questions answered, and now, what now? Where are we now? Like, Wanda, are you a villain? Are you being manipulated? What is happening? Why are you making this pocket universe? Because you don't want to deal with the real world?
I low key hope she goes back to villain, because I would.
Yeah, yeah,
I got my twin brother, who was my only family, gets killed in front of me trying to help the good guys.
yeah.
I finally have a sense of some sort of family coming into the Avengers. I fall in love. My
Mm-hmm.
love of my life gets taken away from me, not once, but twice, right before my eyes. And fighting the guy who took him away I don't even know who you are. Excuse me,
Yeah.
sir?
Yeah. What? You know me.
After all of that, not only would I also have major PTSD, but I'd be like, screw this. Yeah, I'm going to be a bad guy again.
Yeah, I love the fact that at least with Marvel, everything that happens to these characters because they were awarded or they can afford to let characters develop in this universe because they're used multiple times. We even got to see like what that did to her when she obviously blew up the UN building and the Civil War thing. Obviously, not the UN building. She blew up just basically the
An
that
apartment building.
yeah, there you go. And it killed like a lot of people. There was casualties, you know what I'm saying? And it was the whole start of the Sokovia Accords. And she didn't even take that well. She was like, yo, I'm not dealing with that well, you know?
Yeah,
So
like
it's
Steve was trying to
consequences.
console her. It didn't help. Vision came in, and somehow it did start to help her.
That
And
was
that's like
they were forming a boo thing. They were
exactly
forming
that
a
was
boo
the
thing, bitch.
start. That was the start of their love story, their
Right.
relationship. He was
Do you
trying to make like a Sokovian dish for her, and
Right. Question: do you feel like we're gonna get a flashback of them like cupcaking? Because like when you go inside Infinity War, they're a whole couple. Like they're like, yo, we're sneaking off on vacation to have sex and chill and do our thing. You know what I'm saying? And we just wanted more time with each other. You know?
I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna get a sneak peek into. I mean, I feel like they're gonna do everything they possibly can to keep it just Wanda and Vision and not bring other Avengers into it.
Right.
Like, yes, there are other characters from other movies coming into it, but they were support roles. They weren't main
Right. We're gonna keep the
characters. They
focus
weren't.
on Wanda and Vision kind of deal.
Yeah, I feel like that's the entire point of like any of the shows that are about to come out. So
Hmm.
no, I don't think we're gonna dive right into any of that.
I feel it. There ain't gonna be no callbacks. Basically, to
Mhm.
there's no need for callbacks at this point. If you don't know Wanda and Vision are booed up, then you lost in the sauce at this point, kind of deal.
Yeah, go spend 2 weeks watching all the movies in the correct chronological order, then come see me.
Man, that part. Hey, guess what? Yo, when you were doing that, you low key made me do it, but I was already doing it when you did it. But I had to reshuffle my shit. I was like, well, damn, if you're gonna watch it in that order, I'm gonna watch it in my order then. Type
And
stuff.
I got them done in 1 week.
Yeah. Oh no,
I was watching.
I could watch a Marvel movie. I could put that on as background noise easily. Like those movies don't bother me
Yeah,
whatsoever.
yeah. But I was like full on like put my phone away in the other
Yeah.
room. Never happens.
Right.
and and was strictly paying attention to the movies and watching them beginning to end to the credits, the post credits. I even watched the freaking Incredible Hulk start to
Hey,
finish.
hey, listen to
That
me.
one was
Hey, listen
ass.
to me. I like Edward Norton's Hulk, yo. I like that movie, yo. It felt like a genuine Hulk story in terms of
Another
he had no. I'm just keeping it real. It felt like you got the Betty, you got Agent, you got Ross. Like it felt like a Hulk. It felt like a Hulk TV show. Like it felt good. Like that's a good movie, yo. You got an Abomination fight. Like it did what it needed to do. It didn't need a sequel though. It didn't need no sequel. Like we good on the sequel. We're straight. But it established the groundwork that it needed, so you can just throw Hulk around. Like, all right, we'll use him for that. We'll use him for that.
We'll talk about that another day.
We'll talk about that another day. How about this? We'll end it like this. What are you expecting from the next episode? Like, do you have any crazy ass theories for the next episode?
Um, the only thing that I'm expecting is for Monica to spill everything.
Right.
How she suddenly realized what was going on and how she did so well to just kind of like be behind the scenes a little bit,
Yeah.
and how do you realize you're in a sitcom
Mm-hmm.
when you like get sucked into the force field, like and how do you suddenly think like, okay, let me get into character really quick? You know, like that's what I'm expecting, is for her to dish out all those deets.
I'm expecting WandaVision to still be going on. Like, we're still going to be watching WandaVision, but we're also going to get a chance to be back, like, in reality with them while they're also cracking the code to WandaVision. So now, now we're watching two shows now. Now we're finally back where we need to be. We're not just watching WandaVision for a whole 30 minutes anymore now. Now we can go back and forth like, okay, what's happening in WandaVision right now? Okay, we need to figure out how else we can get B Guy. And first off, we don't even know what happened to B Guy. B Guy just disappeared. He said no, and we ain't never seen him since. He's still missing in action right now. You know what I'm saying?
That is very true. That is very true. And then what came back was like that old school jump rope.
The old school, it looked like a cartoon. Actually, it looked weird. Like, definitely, like, there's so many things that I wanna know.
What in the nerds rope is this?
Type shit. Definitely. No, there's stuff that I want to know, man. I want to know some stuff, but I'm hoping that we do get a chance to, man, Geraldine should be the focus of the next one too. Like, even though this was her episode, this was like her origin, what happened to me and why I got kicked out of the Truman Show. You got everything you needed for Geraldine. I don't need no more backstory for Geraldine. All I need to know is mission report. What the fuck did you learn while you were stuck in WandaVision? I need to know everything. And if she doesn't have like a clear idea of how she was able to break the spell or the amnesia, then that's going to be interesting. That's going to be mad interesting. And
I'm also kind of expecting Wanda to be like on her toes more. Right. I wouldn't be surprised if she ends up getting like, by the end of the series, full on paranoid.
Right.
And definitely. Like constantly looking over her shoulder and who's who and who's not.
So there's 9 episodes. We're about to go into episode 5. I'll predict it. By episode 6, WandaVision is probably gonna be dead. I think it's going to crumble. By 6 or 7, WandaVision ain't even going to be a thing anymore. Like, that sitcom situation that they're in, I think that's going to be done.
I'm gonna say by 6, because we still have the 80s and the 90s.
Right. Even the 2000s, for that matter. You never know. This shit can go all the way up until The Office. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Yeah. Like we could be watching some old crazy shit. But I do know one thing. I know that the mystique of the WandaVision, it's been peeled back already. So they don't have to do full-on episodes in there now. They can now go back and forth now. But Halloween episode, I am... my mouth is watering for that. I need that. That's going to be a good episode just based off of what I know and what I don't know. I'm down. I'm going to be fully down. So we have come to the conclusion of our review. WandaVision has definitely took over our Thursday, Friday life a little bit. Like, as soon
as I'm done with homework and turning in assignments, I'm like, I'm on the couch.
Get everything ready. Let me get my snacks.
It is 11 p.m. I am done with school. I'm going to chill for 58 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it's Disney Plus time.
I feel it. Disney Plus, they earned it. I don't know if you watch cartoons, but I'm going to say this right before, because now they have the cartoons on Disney Plus that basically they mirror what's happening in the movies. Just like Avengers Assemble or Earth's Mightiest Heroes. All them shits those are dope ass cartoons. Because I know you're like Team Avengers all day. You love you some Avengers, you know. It ain't gonna give you the accuracy that you need from a comic book, but it will at least give you a little bit more comfortability with what you know, where the certain lores are going and stuff like that. Definitely. All right, we're wrapping this up. This was cool. Back to the Classics presents all the Cinema Rehab that you need. And this was our WandaVision review for episodes 3 and 4. By the way, if you haven't watched WandaVision yet, you need to get up on that. You lacking if you ain't on that.
Put your life together.
Yeah, get it together. Look, they try to do something different, and it's coming together. It's coming together, y'all. Um, you can find me, man. You can even find the whole Back to the Classics page on Facebook. You can find Back to the Classics located in Instagram. Like we got a few spots that we hibernate in at. And of course, every major streaming situation like Spotify and Apple Music, and of course, YouTube, and not to mention our new partners, Amazon Prime. Like we're kind of like a big deal, y'all. Like we there, y'all. It's a little bit. It's a little bit. Selena, where can we find you? Do you want people to find you?
I mean, if they want.
Yeah, like just like you get like 100 followers in one day kind of deal.
I'd be
like really? Like that's what we're doing now? Y'all all want to be my homies? Like, yeah.
All of you. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, all of you?
No, you guys can find me on Twitter. I'm at MexEgyptian, MEXIGYPTIAN.
Damn, let that remind me. I gotta break into my Twitter. Reminds me.
Yeah, you probably should.
Yeah, I should get a, what you call that thing again? A Twitter? A twit? I can send out some twits. I'm still on Instagram, y'all. BKLV Negrito. I have a Twitter handle. I just don't know what it is anymore, but I'm gonna break into that thing and I'll give you guys access to that. I have a Snapchat, but you guys don't want to go up in there. You really don't want to see what's going on up in there. Facebook though, Duval Brown, I'm approachable. The Back to the Classics page on Facebook is popping right now. We're like trying to hit like 1,000, so we kind of need y'all help a little bit on that one.
We're at 904 right now.
Yeah, we need help. We need y'all to come on and bring like other people to come on with like some plus ones to get those up, get those numbers pumping. These are some rookie numbers. You know what I'm saying? What's that? Matthew McConaughey from Woman Wars? These are some rookie ass numbers. I need you to pump those numbers up. Definitely. But yeah, we out. It was a pleasure talking with you guys about this. Whoever is excited for episode 5, go to the page. Let's talk about it. Or comment below, like, share, do what you got to do. Just talk to us. We talk back.
Oh, we do.
Yeah, we talk, we argue, we do everything. Definitely. I'm signing off. Peace out.
Bye.